Hey guys, it's Charlie and welcome to my new Expeditions for Life. Basically, I'm going to be talking to you about one thing I have accomplished, as you can tell from the title. This thing is surviving a hiking slash desert type really massive camping trip. This was number 5 on my list as I really wanted to do something like this. So basically, this was a school-based camp. And I'm wearing the jumper here. This was a school-based camp. And we went down to Woolleen Station, which is inland actually. In that, when we arrived at this so-called base camp on day 1, base camp wasn't anything, it was a windmill. Like one of those old-fashioned ones, those windmill things. It was like a rundown one of them, and there was cattle around the place, and it was pretty isolated and desert-like. Basically moaned and complained, and then when the bus started leaving, we all were like, no, because we just didn't want to go on this camp anymore. The lead up to it, they made it sound so good, in a way, and then everybody was going, it's going to be your best camp ever. And we got there and we thought, you know what, get me the fuck out of here. Get me out. So basically after this, we got into our teams, and I was with my friend Erica and my friend Maddie. Which was good because then we could have a 3-person tent and not have to worry about having to share with anyone else, or just having a 2-person tent, which can be a bit... We got all our stuff put on like this trailer, and we had to get driven to our campsite. This campsite was probably my favourite campsite. Our lovely camp leader Grant had already set up our tents, and he had cooked us dinner, and we were just like, you saint. We had our dinner, and then we went up on the rock, and we just talked and we watched the sunset. Alright, well actually the tents were already set up, so we set up our bags and stuff ready for tomorrow, and we basically we had to have the decision of whether we wanted to sleep on the rock face or we wanted to sleep in our tent. And I kind of feel a bit bad about this because I didn't want to sleep on the rock face because I don't really like sleeping in the same place as bugs and stuff, and with the risk of rain and everything like that. So I kind of feel a bit bad in the fact that I actually said to Erica and Maddie that I didn't want to put me in the tent, and so they kind of missed out the whole camp on sleeping on a rock face because there was either no rock face to be slept on, there was prickles, or the weather was bad. So, day 2. In the morning, we got up, we packed up, we had some breakfast, we had to close over Doug. Doug is a hole dug in the ground, accompanied by a shovel and 2 bags, one for lady stuff, and the other one for toilet paper, and there was a Ziploc bag with a paper bag in it, which had our toilet paper, the used stuff in it. Basically, we had to poop in this hole. Yeah. For a week we had a hole to poop in at each camp destination. That was another thing that I wanted, like, that was a part of the camping trip, because every time I went on a camp with school, I never wanted to go to one of these things. Doug was one of the things I wanted to accomplish on this camp, and I did. So I'm quite proud of that, and let's not go into detail because I'm sure you guys don't want to know about that. We had to divvy up the food between our whole group. And then basically, our camp leader, Christy, got us to organise a song-off, which is basically we use a song to, like, make sure everyone's there. I'm not sure what it's actually called, but you know, the life is a highway, I won't drive it all night long. You know that song? Yeah. Basically, I really loved my group. Walking was tiring. This was our longest walk. It was about 10 or so Ks. I don't know the exact total, but it was the longest walk, I can tell you that. It was like 10 Ks or something. So that was overall the hardest part for me, the walking. But stopping for lunch was nice, and I just didn't want to start again after that, basically. But we got to this rock in the middle where we had lunch, and we climbed to the top of it, and we looked at how far we walked, and I honestly thought, oh my god, I am so proud of myself. I would never have walked that by myself, or like just because. When we got to the next campsite, we all actually sat down on the ground and stood up, and it was the most painful experience ever. There were these prickles that were the most lethal prickles you could ever find in your life. Day three was okay. Although I did have to say I did conquer a fear of mine, and I'm quite pleased with that. We went to this abseiling rock, basically, and it was basically a flat rock face, and I was like, holy shit, no. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And so Maddie came with me, and we went together, and we abseiled, and I have to say I'm really proud of both of us, considering we both were shit scared when we were on the top of that rock. We just didn't want to do it, so we did it, and yeah. Maddie, if you're watching, high five, basically. But I have never seen people more excited to get to a campsite in my life. We literally got there and we all just collapsed. Like it was like, oh my god. Actually, I think it was 7Ks. So yeah, that's what happened. We decided that we were going to get up at like 4 in the morning to walk to our next campsite. Which I think was a great decision. We had dinner that night, which was nice. It was a stir-fry dish. And we went and sat on this rock, which reminded me so much of Lion King, and everyone in my group understood what I meant. And sat on this rock and had our dinner. Our camp leader Grant was like, oh, let's go caving in this little cave. Let's go into this little cave. It's amazing. And it was like, we're all like, yeah. So we all went to this cave thinking it was going to be like one of those little ones that is a little cove that he showed us earlier that day. He showed us one, which was like a death place and a cooking area. Don't even ask. So we're like, yeah, let's go in. And it was pitch black, and it was climbing up rocks, fitting through tight gaps, and everything I despise about caving. We went and we sat around the campfire and we talked about some things that we were proud of in this camp, and things that we have, that we believe had like brought us close together and stuff like that. And so it was a really cute kind of night. Then we got at 4. I have to say, it was pitch black, so it made it so much worse. But we started walking and the sun started rising, and so we decided to stop. And Christy also does yoga classes outside of camping and stuff, so she decided that we were going to do some yoga as the sun came up, which was amazing. And then we had breakfast just in this little spot in the middle of our track that we were walking on. We got to relax, we put up our tents. My friend Erica and I, we went for a swim with a few other people, and then everybody started joining us. It was nice disgusting water I remember swimming, but it was so refreshing. Then after that we started making dinner. Dinner was amazing. It was like this roast that you put in this like pot, and it like cooks it and stuff like that. Our camp leader helped us make that, and it was amazing. That was my favorite dinner. We had to make this roll which would stop like debris going into the waterways, which would also help the person as he was trying to give back to the land and make all the plants that had died from all like the stock and everything grow again. And we had pasta for lunch. By this time it was stinking hot. It was literally like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were all like, you know what? So we sat for like an hour, and after we ate, which probably in hindsight was probably not the best idea. This was the last navigation. I have to say we didn't get there till about 7, so it was a bit dark by the time we were walking, and our feet were hurting, and I think everyone was just a bit over it. But when we got there, we were shouting and screaming, hugging each other, and it was amazing. And we had a pretty emotional time where we were sharing things that we wanted to thank our camp leaders about, as this was going to be our last night together. And we had like a backwards dinner. We had breakfast for dinner. So like I said, the thing is, the pasta that we had for lunch that day was supposed to be for dinner that night. But because we were like, wanted to clean all the pots and stuff, we just did it while we were at this conservation work. So we had lunch, we had dinner for lunch, we had breakfast for dinner, and then the next morning we had lunch for breakfast. At about 6. I feel sorry for those groups that had to be picked up at 6 by the bus. Because this was our last day, we were going to get picked up by the bus. We had to walk a little bit to find the bus, but it was well worth it. And we had this thing where we started singing the national, like the, you know, we are one, but we are many, and from all the lands in which we come, we share a dream, and sing with one voice, I am, you are, we are Australians. We got there, we got off the bus, we started looking about for our friends, but then we were told that we couldn't go until we finished we put all our clothes back in our bags, our proper bags to take back home. So we did that, and we cleaned off the hiking bags, and we gave them back. And while I was cleaning my bag, I literally heard this, Charlotte, right behind me, and I turned around, and there's my friends Victoria and Cassie, and I have to say, this was the most happiest day of my life, like, seeing my friends again, and they literally, like, ran straight at me, like, and Cassie and I had this slow motion moment where we were like, we were just, like, running towards each other, and then Victoria jumped on me and kicked me in the hip bone. Not that it wasn't bruised or anything, Victoria. But it was amazing. Then they were told they had to go and would come and find them afterwards. And so we did, and we tried to go and get Kaylee, but she was playing a game with her group when we went to put our stuff away. But afterwards, I like tackled her when she was sitting on the ground, and yeah. We all sat in the same bus again, because we were supposed to, and we all sat together and we shared stories from our camping journey. Kaylee and I sat next to each other, and on the way home we managed to write a song, which I'm quite pleased about, guys. Maybe one day you hear it. This camp was, I have to say, really hard for me, and I just didn't, by the second day I was completely over it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted to go home right away. I wanted a time vortex to appear. I wanted a Time Lord to appear and take me in his TARDIS. But yeah, it was well worth it. I had to say it was the hardest thing of my life, and I will never do it again, but yay, I did it. Anyways, guys, this has been a long video, and I've probably been rambling, but I just wanted to share with you my experience and to let you know that I have completed something on my new expeditions of life. So, tick! Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below what you think, and if you have been on any camps such as this, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more videos like this. Also, let me know in the comments as well any other videos you would like me to do, say tutorials, music reviews, covers with my band later on in the year. Just let me know and I will get back to you. Don't worry, I will. I promise. I promise. I promise at some point I will get back to you. Okay. Peace, love, fuck shit up. Do you have the time to listen to You're not talking to me, so I don't know why I just asked you that question. Stupid. Literally everybody was shouting and screaming every time they moved or touched one. Ow! Sometimes I give myself the creeps. You'll pay for that one day.